Hi, this is Dave from Hawaiian South Shore. I'm in Honolulu, Hawaii, and we have Harley over there on the other side of the down way under in Australia, and we're going to break down his new Diamond Drive 2.0. Um, so the Diamond Drive, so what's different between the old Diamond Drive and this new one?
Yeah, basically, it's obviously stayed quite true to the original Diamond Drive. But we've just probably the biggest difference is just the way Bill's balanced the plan shape. So he's moved the wide point back a hair, just a little bit wider in the pod, so more support in the back for nose riding and just keeping you up and going in weaker waves. That's probably the biggest difference. Is just the old Diamond Drive had somewhat of a narrower tail and a bigger nose, whereas this one's a bit more balanced. And that balancing, just like I said, was the wider tail helps with nose riding and lower powered waves, but it also straightens up the plan shape, makes it more parallel. So when you're walking and trimming, paddling, it just has a better, sits in the wave better, a bit more comfortable. It's probably a little bit looser, and yeah, so yeah, just the balancing of the plan shape and widening of the back is the big difference. And we've also, he's just made minute adjustments to the rocker of the board. It's still very much like the 3-stage rocker that Billy's done for a really long time, but just fixed up the curve and just, yeah, very, very slight adjustments there. But yeah, they're the main big differences, really, just subtle changes, but it's definitely given a new life to the board.
And you have new sizes too.
Yeah, new sizes. So we always had a 9.2. The old Diamond Drive, we used to have a thin, like a sort of a performance thickness or size 9.1, an over volume 9.2, and then up to the 9.4 for bigger guys, or just, yeah, people who wanted more volume, more size. But we've just gone with the two sizes, so a 9.2 and up to a 9.6. And so we've just further separated it. The 9.2 now is actually a little bit more thinned out than the old 9.2, so it's probably got a more similar rail profile to the old 9.1, but it's a bigger board, being 9.2.
Well, it's
and then
perfect
the
for the
9.6
smaller
is a
guys then.
considerably bigger board than what we've had in the past.
So the 9.2 would be perfect for the
Yeah,
smaller
I think
guys.
yeah, for smaller guys, it's going to be a really good. I mean, I'm like about 90 kilos, probably 190 pounds ish, I guess. And for me, it's still a very good small wave longboard, being a 9.2 flat rocketed. It paddles super good. So even for someone my size, I still like it as a good all round small wave performance board. And I probably shouldn't say small wave too much. Like we did that a little bit too much with the old Diamond Drive too, sort of pigeonholed it as a smaller wave longboard, but it actually handles bigger waves really well too. So yeah, you can kind of ride it and everything. It's just that for me, with the HIHP and now the G6, if the waves get overpowered, I'm more comfortable on that. But if it was going to be your everything longboard, but you're primarily surfing smaller stuff, it's still going to handle double overhead faces super comfortably. And stuff, but yeah, but for me it shines in the smaller stuff compared to what I would generally ride as well.
So the Diamond Drive, were you riding this Diamond Drive way back in the days for a long time before you came out with the HIHP?
Yeah, so a lot of Billy's boards that he's made for forever and a day, like so many of his customers were and still are riding a design that was more similar to this, for sure. It's just a really easy, good all-rounder. It's sort of super performance, but it just has that more paddle speed. I think he calls it more like his point break rocker, whereas the HP, the more continual, is more of the beach break rocker. But that's for our short period East Coast waves here in Australia. If you're talking South Shore Hawaii, in town there, or even on the North Shore, like your waves are a lot further apart than ours, and usually the swell period's a lot higher than what we have here. So this rocker will suit most conditions over there as well. It's just depends on what you normally ride, I guess, and you know, what's your starting point as to
Yeah.
what performance or small wave. But you know, if you're stepping off a log or something super traditional, then this is going to feel like an absolute Ferrari for sure. So yeah, it just depends on what you normally ride.
So this is a good weekend warrior board for sure, huh?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, all our boards, I feel like, whether you're sort of pro level or straight up beginners, they're 9-foot surfboards. You know, they're just, Billy doesn't make them to be hard to ride. You know, this, you know, it's got a very typical sort of performance longboard bottom. Really light, like pretty flat, but lightly rolled off on the edges here. So it's got a bit of rail relief, so it doesn't stick to the water. And that's just a light V with double concave through the fins and flattening out at the tail. So it's a very tried and true bottom contour. That's just, yeah, it goes rail to rail really easy. It's got enough with a little bit of concave. It's got that squirt so you can project speed through your turns. But yeah, if you're a beginner or you know, any level, it's going to work for you for sure.
So do you ride this as a single fin on small days or 2+1 in?
I do play around with single fin. Yeah, if it's sort of waist high or under and just sort of pretty tight and running, like hollow little pockets, if there's not enough room to do like full cutbacks and you're going to be spending more time just like trimming down the line and nose riding in the pocket, I do play with a single fin in it. And I'll generally ride, I've got an old favorite 10-inch whip or the 10-inch click that FCS make. I'd sort of trade between those two fins. They work really well. But like, I think a 9-inch would work quite well in it. Like maybe the 9-inch Connect or something could be a good fin. But yeah, I'm not sure what ones you still have in the range over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, a 9 to 10-inch fin for me is fine in this board. If you're on the 9.6, it's like got a lot more size in the rail and it's a lot bigger board. I'd definitely be looking at a 10-inch fin in the 9.6.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty stoked with the 9.6 for bigger crew. Like it's we used to get asked a lot to bring back the 9.5 Cruiser because it was a much bigger board. But I think this 9.6 Diamond Drive will kind of fills that hole. It's probably even bigger again. Yeah, it's a really good big round rail board. It has edge in the tail, obviously, like this one, but so it's not exactly the same as a Cruiser, but size wise, it's a much bigger surfboard than the old 9.4 Drive. So the fin spread that Billy uses, that we use, is pretty tried and true. We don't really veer from that. So the spread will be, if you measure the distance, it'll be the same with pretty much all our longboards.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
All right. So perfect board for somebody that wants to, I mean, their everyday driver from waist high to you know, everyday board. And then if South Shore's pumping or if you go to country once in a while and it's like 4 or 5 feet, you still can surf it.
Definitely.
Right on.
Yep. Like I said, just depending on what your everyday board is, you know, this could be the full all-round performance board for you for sure. I know, yeah, it's been a very popular model for a lot of people. So yeah, we're happy to update it. And yeah, for me, I've had a few people, team riders down here and guys that have had the Diamond Drive as their preferred model of my range, and I've got them on this new version, and I've had really good feedback that it is indeed like a better version of. So I'm really happy to hear that feedback from the guys that have rode it probably the most. So yeah, it's cool.
They're not afraid to tell you the truth.
No, totally. I wanted to know, you know, do you like it more than your old one or not? They're all good boards. They're all good. So yeah.
Right on. Hey, thank you very much.
No worries.